The setting of Eberron has all sorts of different races. Among them are the shifters. They can demonstrate animalistic traits that can be incredibly advantageous.
So shifters, because they aren't full shapeshifters, they have ties to lycanthropes, and it is debated in world, are they the descendants of lycanthropes? Are lycanthropes cursed shifters? It could go either way, but they have sort of lycanthropic traits. So they are a race of humanoids with sort of inherently sort of animalistic bestial traits. And then for short periods of time, you can shift and you sort of draw a greater, you sort of, in a sense, it's almost like becoming a hybrid form of a lycanthrope. You pull on more animalistic traits and you gain temporarily increased abilities. Like if you're a wild hunt shifter, your senses and your force of will suddenly are strengthened for this short period of time. So part of it as a shifter is you're sort of deciding what is, if you will, your sort of animal spirit. How does that affect you normally? And then when you draw fully on that, how does that change you? And what does that look like? And shifters, again, you have that sort of element to play with of you are inherently a more primal, animalistic sort of person. How do you fit in something like the city of Sharn, where you have these mile-high towers and this very industrialized society? And so that's something that's, again, shifters are very strong as druids, as barbarians, as rangers, because you have that innate contact with the natural world. And it's a sort of fun archetype to explore, even though, again, you don't have to do that at all with a shifter. You can be a shifter wizard or a shifter artificer if you want.
But what kind of culture stems from that?
Well, this is the sort of point, is in the shifters are strongest in the Eldeen Reaches, which is a vast, largely a vast forested area. And there they are, again, sort of nomadic hunter-gatherers. However, part of the point is you have shifters in Sharn, you have shifters, throughout the Five Nations, and part of it is, again, that question of, it's the same as we discussed with changelings. You have a place where this is what shifters look like when they've built their own culture, but you also have what happens when you drop a shifter into a mixed, human civilization. And most of the Five Nations, the heart of the main continent of Eberron, are these very mixed, all these races living together. It's not a human nation. It's a human majority nation, but even then, potentially narrowly.
What different types of shifters are there?
So with the shifters, you pick, as I said, sort of what do you see as your sort of animalistic spirit. We don't directly map that, as sub-races. We don't say, you're a dog, you're a cat. But we have these sort of broad categories. The beast hide shifter is basically you grow tougher when you shift. And so I like to think of it as, a badger, a boar, even something like an armadillo. You're something you're about sort of durability and toughness. The long-tooth shifter is about sort of growing natural weapons and being more aggressive, and that's your sort of wolf or dog. The beast hide the wild hunt, on the other hand, is more about enhanced senses. So that also can go to, again, you're about tracking. And one of the characters in one of my novellas was a wild hunt shifter, and she was a private detective, essentially, but she was a sort of lupine-derived shifter who, again, is all about incredible sense of smell and being able to, basically pull a CSI on a crime scene by enhancing her smell. And we also have I think they're called, I want to say Swift Stride, who are very much about speed. So that's essentially your sort of cat, feline tiger. But again, part of it is you choose that sub-race, but it's still up to you to sort of decide, what do I see this as? Right. I'm becoming tougher, but what does it mean to me? What kind of connection do I see myself having?
You can purchase the Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron right now on dndbeyond.com by clicking on the link in this video description. I'm Todd Kenrick, your host. Thank you for watching.